We have a lot of football games today. This is the 16th of August, 2025. Please make sure you subscribe, give this video a like, always comment, and make sure you watch the full video and share it with as many people as you can. Miami Dolphins versus Detroit Lions team comparison. The Dolphins and Lions are set for week 2 of the preseason, and with both teams coming off 2 days of joint practices, it's unlikely we'll see any starters. The first half should feature Zach Wilson for Miami against Hendon Hooker for Detroit, both working with their respective second units. The real difference comes in the second half. Miami's Quinn Ewers struggled badly last week, going 5 for 108 with 2 lost fumbles, while Detroit's Kyle Allen was nearly perfect, 7 for 8 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading 3 scoring drives. That quarterback edge late in the game could be the deciding factor. Spread Lions +1. I'm taking Detroit to cover the +1 spread. Even if Hooker and the second unit trail early, Allen's efficiency and ability to move the offense gives the Lions a strong chance to close the gap. In preseason football where ties can happen, I like the safety of the spread over the money line. Green Bay Packers versus Indianapolis Colts team comparison. Green Bay is still searching for its first preseason win after a tough showing in their opener, where they used multiple quarterbacks but struggled to generate consistent offense. The run game had moments of success, highlighted by a strong performance from Amar Johnson, but overall efficiency was lacking. Indianapolis is in a similar position with no wins yet, but their quarterback rotation of Daniel Jones and Riley Leonard moved the ball more effectively. They also showed balance with contributions from both the passing and rushing attacks, which helped them stay competitive. Total, over 39.5. Both teams have the offensive pieces to push the scoreboard, especially with quarterbacks who can make plays and skill players who contributed well in their last outings. The Packers have shown they can break off big gains in the run game, while the Colts displayed solid passing production. With both sides still looking for their first win, expect aggressive play calling and more opportunities for points, making the over a strong option. New England Patriots versus Minnesota Vikings team comparison. New England comes into week 2 after a huge 48-point outburst in their preseason opener, fueled by a balanced attack. Ben Woldridge and Joshua Dobbs shared QB duties effectively, while the ground game, led by Ramondre Stevenson and Lan Larison, consistently moved the chains. The Pats also thrived in the red zone, scoring on 5 of 6 trips, and their defense forced 2 turnovers. However, questions remain on the offensive line, and their pass rush has yet to match last year's dominance Minnesota, led by JJ. McCarthy started their preseason with a win, boosted by sharp play from Sam Howell and a steady run game from Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and rookie Xavier Scott. They capitalized on 2 red zone opportunities and forced 3 turnovers on defense. The Vikings' front 7 remains stout against the run, but deep coverage lapses have allowed chunk plays. Playing at home, they'll look to control the pace and pressure New England's QBs. Spread: Vikings +2.5. Minnesota gets the nod to cover here. Their pass rush and defensive front could exploit New England's offensive line depth issues. The Vikings' QB rotation of Howell and Brosmer has shown efficiency, and home field energy should help them sustain drives. Meanwhile, New England's recent struggles on third down could keep their offense from pulling away. Cleveland Browns versus Philadelphia Eagles team comparison. The Browns come into this matchup with confidence after a strong preseason opener, showcasing depth at quarterback with Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and Kenny Pickett all vying for playing time. Their offensive unit, boosted by promising rookies, has shown it can produce big plays. The Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champions, field one of the league's most dominant defenses, but could limit starter reps, giving the Browns an opening to create scoring opportunities. Total, over 37.5. With multiple quarterbacks competing for roster spots, the Browns are likely to keep their offense aggressive throughout the game. The Eagles' depth should still generate points, even with limited starter action. Combined, these factors create the potential for steady scoring on both sides, making the over 37.5 an appealing choice. Carolina Panthers versus Houston Texans team comparison. Houston enters week 2 with a clear depth advantage and the added boost of home field advantage. CJ. Stroud looks sharp in joint practice against Carolina and should see a couple of series before handing the reins to Davis Mills and Keydon Slovis. Both backup QBs are competing for the number 2 role and performed well in week 1, giving the Texans confidence in sustained offensive production. The run game was efficient last week, holding Minnesota to under 3 yards per carry, while the defense limited them to just 20 points. Carolina struggled to establish the run in their opener, abandoning it early after falling behind. They'll likely lean on Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle this week, but Houston's strong front may force them into difficult third down situations. Defensively, the Panthers' backups were exposed by Cleveland, giving up 30 points. Even with starters seeing more time, this is still one of last season's lowest-ranked defenses. Special teams uncertainty with an ongoing kicking battle could also cost Carolina points in close situations. Spread: Texans minus 1.5. Houston's deeper roster, better backup quarterback play, and defensive discipline make them the more complete team. Expect the Texans to control the tempo on both sides of the ball, capitalize on Carolina's inconsistent defense, and cover the spread at home. San Francisco 49er versus Las Vegas Raiders team comparison. Las Vegas enters week 2 of the preseason with strong momentum after a competitive showing in Seattle. Several players are standing out in camp and game action. Jamal Adams shined in his debut at linebacker, Thomas Booker impressed in his first outing after being traded from Philadelphia, and Shedrick Jackson showed great chemistry with rookie QB Cam Miller, catching 4 passes for 76 yards. Dylan Laube contributed in multiple phases, while Miller himself was nearly perfect in relief, completing 6 of 7 passes. The Raiders' depth is being tested and rewarded, with players like JJ, Piggies, and Darian Porter making solid defensive impacts. San Francisco, on the other hand, looked out of sync in Week 1 and faces questions about execution on both sides of the ball. The Raiders under Pete Carroll are emphasizing building a winning culture, and with multiple roster battles in progress, they have a strong incentive to keep their foot on the gas. That competitive edge, combined with their home field advantage, puts them in a favorable position. Moneyline, Raiders. The 49ers' Week 1 struggles and lack of clear improvement indicators make them a risky play. Meanwhile, Las Vegas' motivated roster and depth, especially at quarterback and skill positions, should be enough to secure a win outright. Expect the Raiders to continue evaluating talent while still pushing for a victory in front of their home crowd. Baltimore Ravens versus Dallas Cowboys team comparison. The Cowboys return home after a road loss to the Rams, aiming to bounce back with Joe Milton III starting under center. Milton showed flashes in his preseason debut for Dallas, completing 17 of 29 passes for 143 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, while adding 22 rushing yards. His debut will be supported by rookie offensive lineman Tyler Booker, making his first NFL appearance to bolster protection. For Baltimore, Cooper Rush, familiar to Cowboys fans after 7 seasons in Dallas, will look to rebound from a slow start last week. Though he went just 2 for 4 for 16 yards and a pick, Rush remains a dependable backup option and is expected to get significant reps as the Ravens evaluate their depth behind Lamar Jackson. With both teams focusing heavily on their passing games, the matchup has the potential to open up offensively. Total over 36.5. Strong quarterback play on both sides and a commitment to getting Milton and Rush extended work suggest a game with more scoring opportunities than typical preseason matchups. Dallas's upgraded offensive line and Baltimore's motivation to spark their passing attack create the right conditions for the total to go over. Expect both teams to push the ball downfield and take advantage of mismatches in coverage. Los Angeles Chargers versus Los Angeles Rams team comparison. The Chargers enter as minus 6.5 favorites, but recent matchup trends point toward a different outcome. The Rams have been strong in key game segments, particularly in the second quarter, where they've consistently hit on both the spread and money line. While the Chargers bring an impressive ATS record and a top-tier pass defense, the Rams counter with disciplined ball control and efficiency when protecting possession. Moneyline, Rams. Our projection gives the Rams a 71% chance to take this game. Matthew Stafford's steady play, combined with a defense that thrives on limiting big passing plays, creates an edge over the Chargers in this preseason matchup. Even as underdogs, the Rams' ability to stay poised in close games and capitalize on key moments makes them the pick for a straight-up win. New York Jets versus New York Giants. Team comparison. The Snoopy Bowl brings the annual crosstown clash between the Jets and Giants, with both teams coming off preseason opening wins. History favors close contests. 7 of the last 8 preseason matchups have been decided by one score, with the Jets taking 5 wins and 2 narrow 1-point losses since 2015. They've also won all 4 preseason meetings in the 2022. The Jets' defense, especially the secondary, has looked sharp and should keep them competitive wire to wire. The Giants, meanwhile, face depth concerns on defense, which showed late in last week's win over Buffalo. Key offensive absences for both sides, including Allen Lazard and Tyrod Taylor for the Jets and Malik Nabers and Andrew Thomas for the Giants, could shape the flow of the game. Moneyline, Jets. The Jets enter with a 5-game preseason winning streak and the advantage of not having to travel for this matchup. Their defense is capable of limiting big plays, and their recent history against the Giants gives them the edge. Even as plus 165 underdogs, the combination of momentum, familiarity, and the Giants' depth issues makes the Jets the pick to continue their streak with another Snoopy Bowl victory. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Pittsburgh Steelers team comparison. Tampa Bay comes in after a dominant 29-7 win over Tennessee, highlighted by a stingy run defense, a passing attack that nearly quadrupled the Titans' yardage, and 3 defensive interceptions. The Bucs offense is still ironing out consistency, but the 2-minute drill and rookie WR Emeka Egbuka have stood out. With Teddy Bridgewater making his debut, the team will be eager to maintain momentum. Pittsburgh edged Jacksonville 3-1 25-inch, a back-and-forth game, producing a touchdown each quarter but struggling on the ground. Their third down defense was a positive, but the run game remains a concern. Reports indicate that several starters will sit this one out, shifting the spotlight to rookie RB Caleb Johnson, who's looking to build on his Week 1 performance. Moneyline, Buccaneers. With Pittsburgh resting key starters and Tampa's offense trending upward in joint practices, the Buccaneers are positioned to control this matchup. Bridgewater's first outing in Tampa colors should bring energy and urgency, while the defense has already shown it can force turnovers and clamp down on the run. The Steelers' depth will be tested, and without their primary playmakers, it's hard to see them keeping pace for 4 quarters. Arizona Cardinals versus Denver Broncos. Team comparison. Arizona is coming off a 20-17 win over Kansas City, fueled by a big second quarter where Jacoby Brissett threw 2 touchdown passes. The Cardinals showed balance with 140 rushing yards and forced 2 interceptions on defense. However, inconsistency at quarterback with Kyler Murray and Clayton Tune each throwing an interception could be a concern against a deeper Broncos front. Spread, Broncos -3. The Broncos' depth in the trenches gives them a clear advantage, especially in the preseason when rotation players see heavy snaps. Their joint practice with Arizona only reinforced the expectation that Denver will control the line of scrimmage. While 3 is a tricky number, the Broncos' consistent preseason dominance combined with Arizona's spotty quarterback play behind Brissett makes them the more reliable side here. Once again, thank you for watching, truly appreciate it as always, and make sure you share the video and good luck on your bets today.